Everybody keeps asking me, which Mercedes SUV should I buy? And today we're going to answer that question. Let's get started. So this is a 2011 ML350. My buddy Chris has brought it here today to get it checked out and also to reveal this as a big secret to his fiancée. This has not been shown to her yet, it has not been known, but it will be revealed here on the video today. Like I mentioned in the beginning here, several people ask what kind of Mercedes SUV should I buy. There are multiple different SUVs. There's the GLK, the GL, the G-Wagon, the ML. There's several different ones. And we're going to talk about why this is the choice that you should make and why this is the choice that Chris made. So this is my buddy Chris. He's actually on TikTok as Crazy Uncle Chris if you want to check him out. But you just purchased this for your fiance, didn't you?
Yes, I did. In fact, I found this at B&D Auto Sales in Lincoln, Nebraska.
You went all the way to Nebraska to get this thing.
226 miles one way.
Right. And I remember you messaging me saying, hey, I'm looking at a GL wagon, GL450, and I was like, hell no, don't. Lots of electrical problems. They have air suspension problems.
As soon as you said the electrical problems, I was like, no thanks. Air suspension I can deal with. We can do a coilover conversion, but electrical, no. No, not at all. And you do truck driving for a living, right? Yes, I do.
What kind of things do you haul?
Mostly I haul aerospace. All sorts of stuff for NASA and SpaceX, the Air Force, you name it.
Awesome. That's very cool. You took that hard-earned cash and bought this for your fiance, huh?
Yes, sir. Her Mercury it's dying.
It's dying.
There's some rust pinholes that turned into rust giant holes in the frame.
Oh boy.
And I was not okay with her and the kids being in that.
Right.
Plus the boys just simply aren't getting any smaller.
No, they don't. They have a tend to get bigger, yes. Like I mentioned, there's multiple different models. There's the GLK, the G-Wagon. A G-Wagon is going to be out of most people's budgets. Those are 80 grand to 150. They can be way, way high. If you're looking for a decent SUV that doesn't break the bank, and a G-Wagon's really not even worth talking about. Do you mind saying how much you spent on this one?
I am a very shrewd negotiator.
Oh, are you?
The going rate for these in the middle of the country is between $18,000 and $23,000. And I managed to negotiate this all the way down to $12,000.
12?
$12,000.
Well, you stole it.
I am bragging.
It looks pretty nice. I really like this color as well.
Yes, the Mercedes white is so much better than any of the other whites. Like a Dodge or a Ford looks like a utility vehicle, but the elegance of the Mercedes white paint is like a wedding dress compared to just a plain t-shirt. Right,
plain white t-shirt. And you've actually called your fiance. What have you told her? Like there's something at the shop you want to show her? Or?
I wanted to introduce her to the car wizard, and I wanted to show her my dream Ferrari over here.
Okay.
And we're going to surprise her.
I think she's really going to like this one. What was it, a Mercury what?
A Mercury Mariner.
Oh, a Mercury Mariner.
The Mercury version of the Ford Escape.
Right. This is definitely a step up from that, so it's probably going to be pretty shocking to her.
I think she'll be surprised.
I think so. Well, she'll be arriving here in a minute. Before she gets here, we'll take a quick look around this and take a look at the exterior. And then as soon as she arrives, we will do the big reveal.
All right.
Looks very familiar, doesn't it, Mrs. Wizard?
It is very familiar.
What year was ours?
2010.
2010, that's right. We had a silver one. Another reason why we recommended one of these. Looks like the headlights could be resurfaced at some point, but nothing that a resurface job won't take care of. The paint looks very nice up front. I don't see any serious rock chips or anything going on like that. We move around to the side. It's got some decent tires. The wheels look really nice. I'm not seeing any damage. Since it's just freshly purchased, I like to check for dents or things been caved in or rust holes. Everything looks really good on it. These have really good styling, don't they, Mrs. Wizard?
I do like a Mercedes.
We were very happy with ours, and I think they'll be very happy with this one as well. You can see where he bought it, B&D Auto there in Lincoln, Nebraska. Sometimes you have to travel a little ways to get the best deal. That's kind of what he did there, I think. None of the tail lights are broken, nothing's cracked there. Everything looks really nice on this one. Well, let's go ahead and take a look in the interior really quick.
Okay, ladies and gents, there we go. It does have 120,281 miles on it. It still looks really good. As we look up there, look at that dash. It looks good. And let me tell you, this is like deja vu looking at this interior. Being that this is just 1 year newer than the ML that we owned, there's not much change. Just have some lovely camel leather throughout. Our center console area has a bit of an infotainment system in there. Simple controls. We have dual climate controls. We have 3 levels for heated seats. We scroll down. Never understood fully what these were. If these were some, bars to grab a hold of if the driver was getting a little crazy, making sure our drinks didn't fall out of the drink holder. Not so sure. But one thing I do remember is that it has a nice little slot here, and we were never sure fully what it was for. It was nice that when I was waiting at a drive-thru, for example, Starbucks, you didn't waiting for my drink to come out. What can I do with my credit card? I actually held cards there nicely. Another thing that made it nice is this does pop out if you need to clean, did have a boo-boo spill when somebody went around the corner too fast. As we look at the back, you'll see it does have some more camel leather and it's in really good shape. So he's done a very good job with that $12,000 to make sure that he's got a really good deal. No tears, no rips, nothing going on. As we go up to that headliner, there's nothing there. No Cheeto fingers, nothing crazy going on there. One thing I do notice, that is so tiny and probably something you could easily find off of eBay to make that real quick fix there. So minimal there. And again, when you're looking going down the road, apparently we're going to be hitting in a 1983 Jeep. You should be focusing there and not on the little piece of plastic up there missing. As we move to our steering wheel, have these controls that are very easy, keep us focused on the road. Good flashback in here. What does it look like under the hood?
So being this is an ML350, we have the 3.5 V6, which is what I would prefer, especially if you're giving it to a fiance that's not looking for 700 horsepower. It's looking for something that's reliable, it's got decent power, and is good on fuel. You can see it does have some vacuum lines. Here's the secondary air injection pump. Our oil filters up top, easy to get to. And being like Mrs. Wizard had one of these, they are very reliable. I don't think anything ever broke on it.
I don't think so either, but look at all this space up here. This is crazy.
Yep, you can put 2 arms in here. Really easy to work on, parts are available, and they're very, very reliable. In 2007, 2008, and even early 2009, Magic Mike has told me that these years of cars, the 350 or the 550, whether it be a car or an SUV, they did have the problem with the balance shaft and timing chain issues, but this is a 2011 and that problem has been solved by now. So luckily, that will not be an issue with this vehicle. Everything looks pretty clean. Everything looks to be in good order. I don't see any serious leaks up top. It looks in good shape. I will get Chris over here and we will reveal this to the fiance.
Car Wizard.
Yeah, the fiance showed up.
Hi. Jamie, this is David.
Nice
Car
to meet you,
Wizard.
David.
Nice to meet you.
This is the lady you've heard so much about.
Yes.
Good things, I hope.
Yes, good things.
Anyway, I was wanting to introduce her to you and wanted to show her this Ferrari that you've got in the background. But I noticed you have, that's the 350 or the 550?
That is an ML350.
With the V6. Great
V6.
choice. I have been looking for an SUV for her. And I have been looking specifically for an ML350.
Yes.
I told her we're not going to be able to afford it until sometime next year. Do you mind if I show her the car real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, sit down. It's okay. I'm sure the customer won't mind.
You sure?
I'm certain. Anyway, I was looking for something along these lines. Would this be something you would like to have?
Oh yeah, of course.
And the
It's
white,
beautiful, yeah.
like I said, the Mercedes white is like wedding dress white.
Yes.
It's
yes,
beautiful,
you said
isn't
that. Yes, it is.
Well, it's a good thing that you like it. Dave,
Why?
tell her.
It's yours.
No way! Oh my god!
Yes.
I bought this for you.
Seriously, baby?
You, my darling, because you are so good to me. You make my life so magical. You now own a Mercedes-Benz.
Oh my god! Thank you so much, baby.
Anything for you, princess.
Well, it's looking like you definitely got a nice one.
Yes, I did, and the car's great too.
Yeah, so you're right, both. Yep, he's been asking me for a while. He's been asking about several different models, SUVs. I told him this is the one to buy. He took the advice. I think you're really going to love it.
Hopefully I bought something wonderful. It looked good when I was laying on my back in a parking lot, but
Yeah.
it's a whole lot different when you put it up on a bend pack.
Well, I'll get it on the lift and I'll have Chris come back over and we'll check it over.
Alrighty.
So your fiance is very happy, but
Yes.
you're going to have to make me happy. I want to see that you got a good deal. 12 grand for this thing. Let's see what it looks like underneath. First thing we'll do is we'll look up at the condenser here. See if we see any leaks or anything going on there. I don't see anything there. Right off the bat, I do see a small leak going on. Looks like coming from the oil pan area, the lower oil pan. Oh, I can see the drain plug. The drain plug is on front of the oil pan, and they got it tight, but the crush washer has a little bit of a seep to it, so that's really nothing to scoff at all. It literally will be 20 cents to fix it.
And it saved me $2,000 in negotiations.
Yes. So that's no big deal. The oil leak is kind of yucky to look at, but it's easy to clean and also very easy to fix. Let's take a look at the brakes over here. They look fairly new. Nothing's loose. The struts are not leaking. One thing that was a selling point for me to advise this for him to purchase is you can see up there, there's no air suspension. It's got standard steel springs. Okay, CV boots look good. This is all-wheel drive. CV boots look good there. Brakes look good. Nothing loose there. Move back to the transmission. This is I think a NAG 1 transmission. The connector is nice and dry. I don't see any fluid on the connector through the little plate there. It looks good. They like to leak there. Front shaft is good. We'll make it back to our transfer case. The one that we had bought actually had a small leak on the transfer case I had to reseal, but this one's nice and dry. Drive shaft is good. Hey, nobody's stolen your catalytic converters yet.
Nope.
That's a common problem anymore. Everything looks good there. Nothing leaking from the rear differential. One flex disc and it is in good shape. CV boots look good. Sway bar links are good. Brake pads are about 80%. Nothing loose there. CV boots are good. Brakes are good. Nothing loose. Sway bar link is good. Everything looks good on the exhaust. Everything's intact. Everything looks good.
Looks like I got a good deal.
I think so. Tires even look good. They got lots of life left on them. So we can see here the date code on the tire is 2018. So they are about 4 years old. They're not too old that you can still use them, and they got a lot of life left, so I would say just run with them. All right, well, let's get this thing on the ground. I think you did very good.
Well, thank you.
And I'm glad you didn't buy the GL450. You almost did, didn't you?
I was that close to pulling the trigger on a silver one.
You asked the right guy.
Yes, I did.
I'm glad you didn't do it.
Thank you.
You can do coilovers on those, but then the ride is usually pretty rough. Every time I've heard of someone doing that, ABC delete or aromatic delete, I always hear they wish they never have done that. They wish they would have fixed the original system. So it doesn't have aromatic suspension. It has standard coil springs. It doesn't have problematic SBC brakes. It has standard brakes. And that's one of the things I really recommended this car to them for, is everything on it is pretty basic and standard, but yet it's still a Mercedes-Benz. It's not going to break down frequently. Air suspension can make you look really good. It also can make you look really bad when you're at the Starbucks drive-thru and it deflates itself and you look like a moron. So this car can be driven for many, many more miles, another 100,000 miles easily. There may be some little things go wrong here or there, but like I said with the one me and Mrs. Wizard had, it literally had Honda reliability. So I think you guys did really good. I think you're going to really enjoy this one. And for once, someone took my advice. So many people say, what should I buy? I tell them what they should buy, and they completely blow it off and go buy the one I told them not to buy, and then it breaks on them, and then they say, I should have listened.
I'm glad I listened.
Thank you for listening.
Listen too.
Yes. All right, well, if you're curious what kind of tools we're not going to use to fix this, because nothing's wrong with it, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and we really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's many more cool videos to come. And make sure to head on over on TikTok to Crazy Uncle Chris and check out his videos. Thanks for watching.